All right, today we're going to go on a journey, a real technological odyssey, connecting the dots all the way from the very first spark of fire to the complex code of AI. We're going to see how we got here and maybe get a glimpse of where we're going next. And just to give you an idea of the scale we're talking about, think about this. On one hand, you have one of the first human technologies ever, just striking two stones together. And on the other, you have what we're doing right now, creating code that can actually learn and think for itself. That's the incredible scope we're covering. So let's rewind the clock. I mean, way, way back. Picture it, it's a million years ago. The world is a pretty cold, dark, and dangerous place. And then, a spark. Humanity figures out how to control fire. But you gotta understand, fire wasn't just one thing. It was everything. It was warmth when there was only cold. It was a weapon against the things that hunted in the night. It was a kitchen that unlocked way more nutrients in food. And it was a gathering place, the very first community center where stories were told and bonds were formed. It was the true foundation for everything that came after. Seriously, try to put yourself in their shoes for a second. In a world that was all about survival, what would that little flickering flame really represent to you? Would it be the hope that you'd see the sunrise again? The feeling of safety? Or maybe, for the first time, a sense of power over the world around you? And this is what's so wild. Look at the pace of our journey. See that huge gap between fire and the next big thing, the wheel? We're talking hundreds of thousands of years. But then, look at how the timeline starts to squeeze together. The gaps get smaller and smaller and smaller until these massive leaps are happening within a single human lifetime. The speed of innovation just keeps accelerating. Okay, our next giant leap forward takes us to about 3500 BCE in Mesopotamia. This is where a deceptively simple but totally revolutionary idea comes to life: the wheel. You know, it seems so obvious to us now, but it completely changed our relationship with everything. Before the wheel, the world was basically only as big as you could walk, and everything you owned, you had to physically carry. But after, whoa, suddenly you could move heavy things, and that meant real trade could begin. You could travel much farther, connecting different cultures. You could build bigger things, which led to the rise of cities. The wheel didn't just move carts, you see, it moved civilization itself. So it makes you think, right? What's the wheel in your life today? What's that one fundamental tool? Maybe it's your phone, your car, a piece of software that just makes everything else you do possible. All right, let's jump forward now, thousands of years, all the way to 1440. Humanity's next big revolution wasn't about moving our bodies, but about moving our ideas. This is the moment Johannes Gutenberg invents the printing press. Before this, books were like treasure. They were these incredibly rare, expensive things, copied by hand and only owned by the super powerful, like the church or royalty. Gutenberg's invention just shattered that. It made knowledge cheap, easy to reproduce, and available to almost everyone. It literally lit the fuse for the Renaissance, the Reformation, and the entire scientific revolution. So imagine you're living back then, and all of a sudden these books and pamphlets start showing up everywhere, spreading these radical new ideas about science and politics and everything else. Where would you have been? Would you be the curious one, eager to read the next thing? Or would you be the nervous skeptic, worried about where all this new information might be taking us? Our next leap throws us right into the industrial age. We'd mastered fire, we'd mastered movement, we'd mastered information, so what was next? Pure energy. In the 1800s, people like Edison and Tesla figured out how to literally capture lightning in a wire. And the change was, it was literally night and day. For all of human history, life stopped when the sun went down. Electricity conquered the darkness. It meant factories could run all night, our homes and streets were suddenly safe and bright, and it laid the foundation for every single electronic device we have today. Can you just imagine seeing a light bulb flicker on for the very first time? It must have felt like actual magic. So think about your own life. What invention has given you that same feeling of pure awe? The first time you held a smartphone? The first time you saw a video call? And that brings us to an era that's a lot more familiar to most of us, the late 20th century. We had conquered the physical world, so we started building a brand new one, a digital world. The internet showed up and nothing was ever the same again. It's almost impossible to overstate the impact. The internet isn't just a technology. It's like a global nervous system. It connects billions of people instantly and puts pretty much the entire sum of human knowledge right in your pocket. It's like the printing press and the power grid had a baby and it grew to cover the entire planet. So what's your internet origin story? Do you remember that awful, unforgettable screech of a dial-up modem? The absolute thrill of sending your very first email? Or just waiting forever for that first webpage to load? What was that moment for you? And that brings us right here to today, to the very frontier of the next great leap. After making tools to keep us warm, tools to move us, tools to connect us, we are now making tools that can think. We're building artificial intelligence. And let's be clear, this is not science fiction anymore. AI is already woven into the fabric of our lives. It's the brain behind cars that can drive themselves. It's the algorithm that can spot diseases in a scan better than a human doctor. It's that magic that translates languages in real time. And it's the chatbot that can write you a poem or a line of code. So while AI might feel totally new, maybe even a little bit scary, when you see it on this grand timeline, you realize what it really is. It's not some alien thing that just appeared. It's the next logical step in our thousands of years-long quest to build tools that expand our own abilities. And that puts us in a pretty unique, kind of heavy position, doesn't it? We are the generation living through this massive change. So when historians 1,000 years from now look back at the dawn of AI, what are they going to write about us? Will they say we handled it wisely, that we embraced the potential with both courage and caution? When you look at this incredible journey laid out, the pattern becomes crystal clear. From the chemical sparks of a fire to the electrical sparks of a computer chip, our entire history is one long story of us finding new ways to push the limits of what it means to be human. And that leaves us with one final and really crucial question. Because this story isn't over, not even close. We're just starting the next chapter. So the real question isn't just what happens next, it's what role will you play in it? The next great leap is happening right now, and every single one of us has a part to play.